She scores. Jordan, hey, what's goody? How you doing?
How's it going, man?
Long time, but we are back. We live, and we're gonna start off. Speaking of live, the WNBA has several nominees for the Hall of Fame, including Maya Moore. I just want to read off some of these names: Sue Bird, Lisa Bluter, and these are again we have other names as well: Sylvia Fowles, Maya Moore, Tisha Penicheiro also on the nominee ballot. Obviously, you know more. Jordan, who do you think has influenced the game the most, and who are you most excited to see? I guess in the upcoming Naismith Hall of Fame, we're gonna announce. They'll be announcing the winners at All Star Weekend coming this February, and that's February 15th at All Star Weekend. We're gonna see who the nominees are and like who will actually be getting nominated in the Springfield. Who are you most excited to, I guess, get enshrined in the Hall of Fame?
Probably Maya Moore. I mean, for some people, she's the greatest player of all time. She won 4 championships. Um, she was just, I mean, she only played like 9 years, right? So
Yeah.
she was just like a comet the whole time she was here. She was just incredible. I mean, I think that I think she's obviously super deserving of it. I think she's my number one person that I'm most excited to see get in the hall. And probably number two, I think Sylvia Fowles.
Shout out to Horseman Middle School.
Hor- yeah,
Horseman
we
Middle School.
this is
Sylvia
bro,
Fowles in the building. That's
bro.
it.
This is a Horseman Middle School podcast.
That's it. Shout out to Horseman Middle School. Absolutely. Go, keep going, Jordan. But yeah, she's
she
absolutely a
she
monster for sure.
she is so. I think she's one of the most underrated players of all time. I feel like I just feel like when people talk about like the 10 greatest players of all time or the top 15 players, people kind of
Ignore her.
sometimes they forget Sylvia Fowles, but I mean she's also a champion, great defensive player, most valuable player. I think Sylvia Fowles is one of the greatest players of all time.
She is, and she's a tremendous rebounder. I want to say
Yeah,
she made the Olympic team her rookie year. She made
yeah,
the Olympic team her rookie
yeah.
year. Also was a monster. She dunked at 36 years old in her last All Star game, which is about 2 years
Oh
ago.
yeah, right.
I mean, Sylvia Fowles has always been great. And shout out to her for making it to the Hall. And she'll be like, she's had multiple 2020 games. I mean, like, there's not enough things you could say. Two-time champion, two-time Finals
Yeah,
MVP,
right.
MVP in the league in 2017, eight-time All-Star, four-time Olympic gold medalist, four-time DPOY, seven-team All
Oh my
WNBA.
gosh. Yeah,
You're right. She does have a
crazy
case.
good.
This is in 15 years, so she does have a case. And she should have a case of being on that list as well. So shout out to Sylvia Fowles. She's been a great player, obviously, throughout her career. We've seen it in middle school. So shout out to her. So I love to
And,
see it.
and it's crazy because the two players that I mentioned were teammates at one point,
Yes.
you know?
Yes, they were.
So it's like, I mean, what a dynamic duo. I think that might be the only time it was arguable that Maya Moore might have had a teammate better than her for like one season, you know? Because those are I mean, that's an incredible duo.
So yeah, absolutely. So shout out to Sylvia for getting that nod. Also, I just want to bring up one of my favorite point guards in the game. I used to love watching her play, especially
Yeah,
before she retired. Sue
right.
Bird. Shout out to Sue Bird, who's also
Yep.
going. Sue Bird has been she is one of the first guards that like really for me like it was her and Tarasi, um,
Yeah,
especially from the guard position. It kind of just
right.
made me like get into the game a lot more. So I'm really happy for her. And she's I mean, I'm not gonna say she's underrated, but she's a great point guard. Like she's always been a great point guard from UConn.
Yeah.
Obviously, a four-time champion. She's assist leader, career assist leader. I mean, she's there's not enough that you can say. She's just a really great ambassador for the game. She's she's just been great, man. Like in her career, she's had a lot of longevity. Like she's been a great ambassador for the game, and she's still around the game today. So I love seeing Sue Bird, and I've always enjoyed watching her games. So shout out to Sue Bird for getting the nod as well. She should be
Yeah,
a lock. And then Jordan,
for sure.
this is one of my favorite players, Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony, just
I
keep that
know.
in mind.
No.
Carmelo Anthony get to the hall. So shout out to Melo for getting that nod as well. But and Dwight Howard. This is a
Yeah,
great
shout out
shot.
to Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard is, man, people forget how good Dwight Howard was. You know, he took that Magic team all the way to the finals, beat LeBron on the way to the finals, and in that series, LeBron went crazy, but he beat him in
Yes.
six. You
Yeah.
know, he beat him in six in '09. So, he had a crazy conference finals series, and he even played well in the finals too.
Yes.
Um,
The
but I
Kobe.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, just one of the greatest defensive players I've ever seen, and
Absolutely.
he just had a really good career. So
That's funny that you brought up great defensive players because now I want to bring up Asia Wilson. So Nike gave her a private plane in honor of one getting her. What was that? She had a new extension with Nike, and she is now, if she's not the top highest paid, she's one of the top highest paid athletes in the brand, especially on the women's side. I want to say on the women's side rather.
yeah,
This private and her signature shoe, the A1, is dropping this year.
right.
I mean, I guess what are your thoughts about Asia and the fact that I guess her deal and just the fact that she's transcending basketball once again?
Good for her, man. She deserves it. She's the best player in the league. You know, I mean, I think Nike did a great job kind of locking her up even more. She's in the prime of her career. You know, I mean, what can you say? Like, she deserves every bit of it. You know,
She got a private plane, like, and
that's crazy.
yeah, I love that. Like, I love the logo on her plane. I like the colorway. Like, it's hopefully it's gonna be. It looks like this might be the colorway of her shoe. But this is cool. This is cool, and it has her logo on. Like, I love this. This looks dope though. So shout out to Asia. Appreciate the likes on TikTok, Jundaw, and everybody else out there on this live. I appreciate y'all. But yeah, shout out to Asia for getting her I guess her props and her flowers and her just due. So sometimes I know she feels underlooked or at least overlooked by the national media, but everybody that's in the sport of basketball, they understand how great she is and how much of a competitor she is. And like it takes nothing away from everything that she's done. So shout out to Asia. All right, now speaking of, and this is funny, somebody brought this up to me. They said that this person is going to be Asia Wilson's rival moving forward in the WNBA, Caitlin Clark. So she was seen working out with her coach and Stephanie White. I mean, obviously, you could just look at her physical stature. She looks like she's been in the weight room. She looks like she's gotten a lot bigger. She's looking like she just, she's looking like she's ready for the moment. I mean, the only thing I really do kind of like her handles is great. So, the only thing I really want her to really work on is her turnovers and obviously just finishing at the rim. And look at her doing a step back midi. That's pretty impressive. But I guess what are your expectations for Kaylin in a year two? Look at her finishing at the rim. That's a good. These are some good finishes. This is some good. This is what I want to see. Good for you, Kaylin. These are some good. And look at her. She got her in the post. Yeah. This is what are you, I guess what are your expectations from her? And I guess just working out with Coach White in the off season.
I think you kind of laid it out together actually, like her getting stronger. Um, that's gonna help her finish in traffic in the pro, like in the regular season, right?
Yeah.
Like, because I mean, you saw her arms during that Time Magazine interview, right?
Yeah.
So it's like
Her arms got noticeably bigger. She's
they
got noticeably
did.
bigger. Yeah.
So that's gonna help her finish. You know, she's gonna be able to kind of play through contact a little bit more. Probably help her a little bit more on the defensive end. Stephanie White probably like introduced that concept to her this year because Caitlin Clark's never heard of defense before, right?
Yeah.
So
Right.
yeah. So so she's probably help. I mean, that's gonna serve her really well on both sides of the ball. She's gonna have a really good year, man.
I think so too. I think she's gonna do a tremendous year next year. I got her averaging 25 and 10. So this is just me now. I'm telling you, I got her averaging around 25 points, 10 assists next year. She averaged what 8 and 19, and I said she
Yeah.
was gonna average 20 and 10 last year. I got her averaging 25 and 10. So I think that's what she's gonna do. I think she'll be the first guard to do that, and it's gonna be great. First guard to average a double double in the WNBA. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool to see. I think she's gonna be the first one to do it. And then by year 3 or 4, when she wins MVP, she's gonna average 30 points. So right now, I got her next year at 25.
You're crazy. Okay.
Not at all. Why? Why is that crazy? Why can't she average 25 and 10?
No, 30. I mean, 30 is a lot of points, man.
She's gonna be the first. She's gonna be the first person to average 30 in the league for sure. I absolutely think that.
I mean,
Absolutely.
I need
Go.
to see it to believe it. So
Why?
that's a
Oh,
lot.
so okay, but she did it in college routinely. She's done it in college routinely. So I don't think like it's a far cry to say oh she can't do it in the league.
I think it's I just dude, no one's averaged 27, 28,
That's
29
the
like
point.
yeah, so jumping straight to 30, that's a lot of points, bro.
So Asia just did it, and then like Clark, it's not like Clark had the best. Clark shot 42% from the field this year. If she shot almost closer to 50, she'd be averaging 25 now, or if not more. So I don't. Yeah, I think she's absolutely gonna do it. And like for me, I'm like I'm gonna just pull up her. I'm gonna pull up her obviously her collegiate stats that kind of uses a reference point. And I know everybody says, "Oh, it's not college, it's not the same as the league." That's five threes a game. She averaged 31, averaging five threes a game. So I'm like three. What is that? 15 points in the 3-point line.
I think it's just crazy to expect someone to set the all-time single season scoring record per game by 3 points. I think that's just a lot to ask of, of a player.
Katie, okay, June Law, here we go. College and pros are different. Katie agrees with me. He said because of the 3-pointer. I agree. I'm like with the 3-point line, that's the great equalizer. And like she can shoot more. If she's shooting 13 threes a game and she makes 5 or 6, that's 18 points. She's gonna shoot at least 4 or 5 free throws a game. What was that 22, 24, 23 points? And then she has to hit a few layups. I don't think that's like a far cry. I don't think that. And the real thing I think honestly is how good her team is around her,
Right.
right? So I'm like, because I know Aaliyah's going to be there, and she's just going to get better. But I'm like, if she's able to hit a bunch of threes, and if her team's not good, then you could definitely put it in the bank. This should be the first person to average 30. If her team's good, if her team is really good, then that's not going to happen. But I absolutely think that I think it will happen. I think she'll be the first guard in the league to do it, and I think she'll be the first guard in the league to average a double double.
I mean, if she goes out of her way to do it, she could do it. Like if LeBron went out of his way to get a triple double every game, he could do it.
Should have no. I don't
But
like to say that.
but like in the flow of the game, I mean, I just have to see to believe it.
Somebody in the chat wrote CC is not as good as she thinks. I would love to have him up and kind of hear what his opinion is. Mike said I don't think she'll do that next year. I don't think she'll do that next year either. I think she'll get 25 and 10. Her last season college was 21 a game. Correct me if I'm wrong. I just looked it up. It was 31.7. You tell me if I'm crazy or not. Katie said the easiest way to do it is 3-pointers or someone like Asia that's good around the baseline. CC has to just shoot 6 more shots a game. That's my point. That's my point. That's what I don't think is like a far cry. I don't think that's a far
Six
cry.
more shots a game.
That's not a lot. That's 2 more per quarter, at least, or 1.5 more per quarter. Like that's not a lot. That's not a lot. The thing with her, she just gotta make her shots. And again, 41% is not like the best shooting percentage, but it's not terrible for a rookie. So if she can just get to 45 to 50, you telling me she can't shoot
6 more
50?
shots in a pro game in a 40-minute game is
That's
not a
the
lot of shots.
That's the problem. The 40-minute game probably.
It's a 40-minute game, man.
No. If she
Six
averages
more
30
shots
points,
is 6 more minutes.
Game, Jordan, thank you for bringing that up. That's even more impressive. Truthfully. That's even more impressive. If she's averaging 30 on a 40-minute game, that's impressive.
That's in a 40-minute game. That's really hard, man.
I think she's gonna do it though. But I'm like, they didn't think she was gonna break Pistol's record. She broke it. So it's like it's only unbelievable until it happens. You know what I'm saying? So until it happens, we can only say, oh, this seems like, like,
listen, man, that ain't Kate Martin over there. Okay, that's Kelsey Mitchell. Like she needs touches. You know what I'm saying? Like she's not getting 6 more shots a game.
We'll see. We gotta see. He put so Didi put she's never gonna average 30. She relies heavily on her three. She has no midi. Her drive game is decent. I guess. I mean, some of it I disagree with. I think she's gonna average 22 and 11. Yeah, again, I'm not disagreeing with that. I just think that she is gonna average that. I think eventually it's just her scoring. I don't see her scoring numbers getting worse. I see them just getting better and exponentially better as time goes on. And as she gets, all she got to do is just, again, even her building her strength in this off season is not done. Like she's gonna get stronger and get like she's not near her prime. So as she gets closer to her prime, she's just gonna become a better player. So I don't foresee that not happening. The same way I tell you when I see Angel averaging 25 and blank, average as many rebounds as I want to put. So I don't foresee them getting worse as they get stronger and more developed into the league. I see them getting stronger and more, I guess, more inept in order to get these things done. Man, we really got to wait till May. I feel you. The conversation that she's ever going to average 30, all she got to do is make her shots. There you go. Okay.
I mean, I guess like mathematically, all we have to do is make our shots, and then we'll all make more points.
I guess, right?
I guess like it just.
Speaking of, I guess making shots. I wanted to play this clip by Jim Jackson. Obviously, you know him from the Sacramento Kings as well as the Houston
Miami Heat.
Rockets. He played for the Heat. Jim Jackson played for the Heat.
G-
Jim
uh,
Jackson played for
uh,
the Miami Heat. Yes,
Jimmy
he did.
Jackson. Yeah,
Yes, he did. And he played for the Dallas Mavs. Yeah, he did.
he did. He did. He played for everybody. Jambari, don't ever question my knowledge, bro.
He did. I complete. Shout out to the Miami Heat getting Jimmy Jackson. But this is what he had to say regarding. So I just brought up Asia. I just brought up Caitlin. This is what he had to say about the two of them.
Time after
on the Rich Eisen show.
Athlete of the Year. Congratulations to Caitlin Clark for being named Time Athlete of the Year. I get why people are so upset. I'm a basketball player and a basketball fan. There's a lot of dynamics and a lot of layers to this thing when it deals with Caitlin Clark. But I will say that this is just my opinion. It's certain people, I don't care if you're black, white, Spanish, from Europe, it doesn't matter. That draws something, okay? And Caitlin is one of those. It's the reason why Steph Curry, who may not be the best player, okay, in the NBA, but he draws different. He draws different. He can be marketed differently than other players. It's some players who may be considered better, maybe Kevin Durant. But the market, to market Kevin Durant is a lot different than marketing Steph Curry. People resonate with Steph Curry a lot more than a KD. Now, that may be KD's personality, okay? He doesn't really care. I'm just using KD as an example of a player that physically is, I think, a better overall player than Steph. But Steph, from a marketing perspective, is more valuable in terms of marketing and what he brings to the table. And that's what I see with Caitlin Clark. Caitlin may not beat, Asia Wilson is the best player in the WNBA, but Caitlin is more marketable because people tend to resonate. I don't care, black, white, whatever it may be. Now, there is a race component to it. It always will be in some regards, okay? But the player itself, the person, what she was able to do, how she resonated, how she drew eyes to the TV. I don't agree with the Mystics owner saying that the whole WNBA should have been named up, because that's not true. The whole WNBA benefited this year from the viewership increase because of the excitement between Angel Reese and also Caitlin Clark. But from a pure marketing perspective, Caitlin Clark was it.
So what are your thoughts about that? And then I'll kind of give mine.
Why don't you give your thoughts first?
All right. So my thoughts were, and we had this debate off screen, but I think about, so first of all, people say Asia Wilson's boring. I don't think that at all. So I'm going to stay there. I don't think that at all. I don't think Asia Wilson's boring. I think she's probably an enjoyable player to watch. And again, if you're in like basketball culture, if you're really into the game of basketball, you understand what she's doing historically has never been done. And for a casual fan, and this is where I'm going to start to pivot, for a casual fan, it's easier to, and especially if you're a basketball player that's just kind of starting in the game, it's easier to emulate Caitlin's game than it is Asia's game. Why? Most people on earth are not 6'4", 6'5" like Asia Wilson is. And especially if you're speaking about women, right? More people just in height alone, they resonate with Caitlin because she is a shorter player, right? She's less physically imposing than Asia is, right? So the two things, stylistically, it's easier to shoot. It's not easier to shoot a three, but it's more fun to shoot a three than it is to shoot layups. And people casually want to see somebody just shooting from three versus somebody making layups or dunking, which Asia can do. Now, this brings me to another point which kind of Jim spoke about. He spoke about Curry and Kevin Durant. I'm going to speak about, and this was the whole argument when LeBron started to he didn't lose popularity, but when Steph Curry started gaining a lot more people, especially just casual fans, related with Steph a lot more than they did with LeBron. Why? Because it's easier. Again, most people cannot emulate LeBron's game. He is 6'9", 250 pounds, the best player in the league, and he can do everything on the court. It's like Satoru Gojo. You're not going to be able to mimic a person that's like literally just one of one versus somebody who's 6'3". He's less physically imposing in stature, and his greatest weapon is a shot that most people can shoot at any given time, which is the three-pointer. Now, the question is, can you shoot it as prolific as Steph can? And the answer is no, because he's generational in his own right. But the same argument can be. So the thing I don't like is when people say, "Oh, Asia's boring," and this and that. There's the other thing too, because I'm like, when it comes to Clark and Wilson, they both put their heads down, and it's not like either of them are really in the spotlight as much. Like once the game is over, they're not like really doing too much outside of the game of basketball. Like neither of them are Angel Reese when it comes to like just being out there in the forefront of the spotlight. So like with that alone, I'm like they both are like workhorses who put their heads down and they go play basketball and then they go home and they live their lives. Yeah, they might have some candid moments where they're being funny, etc. But they're not. It's not like they're Angel, where Angel is like more extroverted and she's really more out there. And there's nothing wrong with that as well. Don't get that twisted. But it's like they share some similarities. This is funny why he brought that up with this argument about them two being rivals. So I just think it's easier to honestly just to emulate Caitlin's game. And again, if you're a young woman, you want to go bomb from three because you're most of the chances are you're not 6'5". So it's like it's like, okay, I can do a step back three, but I can't get the ball in the high post, do a turn, catch a shoulder fade, and then go score. Most people aren't built to do that. Like you have to really have that in your game and have the physical stature to do it. So it's the same thing. You could make the same argument with Breonna Stewart. Like most people aren't 6'5" and are able to do the same things that she can do versus like a Sabrina Ionescu. So it just more on a stylistic point. I feel like it's just easier to emulate Caitlin's game than it is to mimic Asia's. And I think that's where more people relate. And again, if you're a casual fan, you haven't really seen anybody bombing from threes the way she has. So it's like you're just tuning in to see her bomb from three. You know what I'm saying? Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. Now, if Asia was dunking, you could say, okay, people are tuning in to go see her dunk. But that's why I say from a stylistic standpoint, it's the casual fan doesn't really understand, post moves, significant post moves, and like the things that Asia's doing. Her face up game is amazing, and she's able to do anything off the high post, mid post, etc. Now she just started shooting threes. So
yeah.
And then I'll let you kind of go, Jordan, if you have something more to. But that's kind of my take on that part.
I kind of agree with everything you said. I got a quick question for you. Like, does anybody agree with Sheila Johnson? Like, does anybody?
I don't agree with her.
I haven't heard anybody agree with that statement that she said.
I have Whitney. Shout out to Whitney if you're listening. We bring you up on again. But Whitney agrees with Sheila. Whitney says she spoke 100% facts.
She agreed that the whole league should be on Time Magazine.
Facts. That's what Whitney
said.
That's
that.
I mean, if you want to bring her up, but Whitney said that
she might be the only person on earth that agrees with her. But yeah, I mean, it's just she's relatable because she's a smaller stature. She's closer to the average size of the rest of us. It reminded me, like, we talked off screen about how, like, Allen Iverson, people kind of forget about that, like, people really gravitated towards him because he was just a regular sized person. People talk about the culture and all that, but he was also like a relatively small human being going against like Shaq and Kobe, and that was really relatable. Like, like David versus Goliath. That's kind of what it is with Caitlin Clark as well. Small town girl from some no-name school taking a bunch of people that we don't think are 4 or 5 star recruits, and making it to the finals twice. And it's not just that, but it's like she plays faster than every other player in the league. She's literally always running up and down the court. That's exciting. She's the only one that tries these crazy passes and takes these crazy shots. There's literally everything about her game is more exciting than every other player by far.
Yeah, and let me just say this because like I understand Raven. So to Raven's comment, she says we keep saying that she's smaller. Yeah, I mean she is. She's 6 foot, and I understand that she's 6 foot. But the average male in height is what? I forget what, 5'10", 5'11" in the United States. So they're already comparable in size to her. And then the average female or average woman rather is 5'6", 5'7". Like, well, let me just Google that right quick. Average height, like let's do that right quick. So what I'm saying is she's more comparable. I understand that she's tall for her size, and I understand that. But what I'm saying is she's more comparable to the average person than somebody who's 6'5". Like that's just the first part of it. So I mean that's how I kind of see that. And again, just when it talks about their game. So okay, it's 5'4". So forgive me, it's 5'4".
I mean, she's so smaller than Asia. smaller than Nafisa, smaller than Stewie. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's for people it's more relatable, you know. That's all it comes down to.
The average woman is more relatable to Chelsea Gray and Hannah Hidalgo. She wasn't the only one making those passes, and I never even brought up her passing. By the way, the only thing I brought up was her 3-point shooting. I didn't bring up anything about her passing ability. I brought up her 3-point shooting because yes, and we want to
People
talk
always want
about
to get into
Gray.
specifics,
We
but
can talk
she's
about
like,
Susan Pinachero. We can talk about Shoni
I
Schimmel.
know,
We
like,
can talk about Sue Bird. This is not the only person that passes the ball like with flair. Again, but Sue Bird, what's the difference between Sue Bird and Caitlin? It's literally the 3-point game.
I think it's more than like Caitlyn is literally always trying to fast break every possession. You know, for the most part, it's more than just like it's literally the whole package. You know, she's still the most exciting player to watch in the league, and it's not really close. You know, and it's really that and it's really that simple.
I would say yes. I would probably say yes. Is she? I'm trying to really think about that. I'm really trying to think about that.
Yeah, like it's not even close. You know,
No, it's not like I'm not gonna say it's like by a landslide, Jordan. What do you mean? Why are you saying that?
you would rather watch.
Asia's putting up 50-point games. Like, what do you?
You would say that an Asia Wilson game is more exciting than a Caitlin Clark game, or a Stewie game is more exciting than
You
a.
gotta be honest. So okay,
I'm not saying better player. I think Asia Wilson's a better player.
That's not what I'm saying.
But like, would you rather watch Caitlin Clark even when she's struggling? Like,
would I rather?
You would rather watch that than
what?
Stewie? Than Stewie?
I don't want to see any player struggling. To answer your question,
Then Alyssa Thomas, then Nafisa, then like you know what I'm saying? It's like
don't bring up that's not fair. That's not fair.
She just plays a very exciting style, all of it. She's very much like Pete Maravich, you know?
I agree. And that's one of my favorite players I ever watched play too. Even though I didn't watch him play, but I love Pistol Pete. But she's not like Pistol Pete, and nobody's like Pistol Pete, Jordan. Ain't nobody like Pistol Pete. Ain't nobody like Pistol Pete. June Doll said I would pay $500 to watch CC, and God bless your heart for it. I wouldn't pay that to watch Asia.
I agree, June Doll. Like, Raven, bro, that's how you know that like it's true. Because June Doll and we almost don't agree on anything.
Raven's Revenge said I would rather watch a full two-way game. I'm not like I don't really I like two-way players when it comes to winning games. I don't personally care about that when I'm watching just for casual fun. CC is way more exciting, so he agrees with you. C grade didn't have average assist ever. It's the NIL. It's by a landslide. So yeah, Mickey agrees with you when he said CC is the most exciting by a landslide. And then Riverdance said she's the funny. Okay, Arike is also exciting to watch too.
She is exciting to watch, yes.
Okay. I think it has more to do with the amount of visibility before making it to the pros. Sue Bird never got over 7 assists. I think being polarizing is a part of being a star. Why didn't they put up the whole NBA or Asia on Sports Illustrated Athlete of the Year? I know I shouldn't. Wait, what should put? Arike is just as exciting. I agree with that. Arike is really fun to watch. I would rather watch CC have a bad game than Asia have a good one. I disagree with that.
Who said that? Who said that? I agree with that.
I don't agree with that. I'm not gonna want it. So when she had her 3-point game, against New York, you were like, oh cool, this is fun to watch.
I would say that Caitlin at the All-Star game when Caitlin Clark didn't make a single shot.
I'm good with that. That's not
what the crowd was holding their breath for her to make one shot, which never came, over everything else that was going on.
That's not. I'm good with that. She had 9 assists. Like I'm talking about her.
So it was more exciting, bro.
Her 3-point game in New York was not fun to watch, and it's okay to say that, but I don't know about that part. I get what Mickey is saying. Mickey took it too far. I agree with that. Kennedy Carter is also exciting to watch, and that's another person I was gonna bring up was Angel. Fever versus Dallas was the most exciting game last year. It was one of them for sure. The New York game, the girl had a busted eardrum. I understand that. That's not what I'm saying. I think I missed what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, would you rather watch that game versus her, or watch Asia put up 50 points or Arike drop 40? Like, no.
So you're gonna take Caitlin's worst game versus Asia's best game? I mean, maybe.
Fine. You could put an Asia's
game ever.
Put a 20-point game by Asia. When a player is playing bad, it frustrates me. I agree. It don't frustrate me. I'm not enjoying it. And I don't think they're enjoying it. So it's not like.
She just plays a more exciting style. Like, she tries passes that no one else tries. Yeah, Chelsea Gray's done it before. Other people have done these things before, but it's like overall, it's just a more exciting game. And she also, plays like every game that she can,
Yeah.
as many minutes as she can every game, which, I mean, I think every female player does that, which you can't say for the male counterparts, but that's part of what is, bolstering Caitlin Clark's, kind of status or whatever. It's like she tries all the time, and she shows up every time.
Why are we always talking about past players when we're in the present? I don't understand. I mean, who in the past have we brought up?
I think someone said Penichero, that's all.
I brought up Penichero, but that was just to talk about passing. The only players I have big money to see play big money to see is CC and Enrique, I guess. I mean, there's some other players in the league. One of Mickey's favorites, Sabrina.
No. No,
I'm being sarcastic. I'm being sarcastic.
She could just hang out with her UCL.
They're funny. But all right, Riverdance, y'all are funny. No, but shout out to CC because I think again she's gonna get the job done. But yeah, as far as like when it comes to like the levels of excitement, I mean, I enjoy watching her play, and I think she's like I said this on record since she walked in the W, the best point guard in the league. And I mean, again, I'm not gonna say like her worst games are more exciting than someone's best games. Like that's a little too much. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that.
But her worst games were exciting though, because she was trying like.
You mean the hype around it? You mean if you mean the hype, then maybe. But
no, man, I'm talking about
product? No.
Yeah, like she's like trying and failing. Like it's like wow, like look at that turnover. No one else would have tried that pass. Like I mean, I'm not condoning it. But it's exciting.
All right. Let's move on quickly. I just want to bring this up before we kind of speak. We're going to speak about Juju and Paige Beckers in just a minute. But I do want to bring this up quickly. Obviously, you got the Minnesota Lynx. They're back in the lab. You got Nafisa Collier. She's working on her game. And then there's another person that I'm really excited to see next year. I put her as one of my breakout players of the year, Lissa Peely. Jordan, what are your thoughts about the Minnesota Lynx moving forward next season? Are they going to go back to the championship? Do y'all have them winning the chip? Like, what's going on with the Lynx?
I think we're going to see the same finals that we did this last year. Like, I mean, has anything changed your mind in terms of like who could challenge the Lynx in that conference? I just don't see it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is like early wagering. I think Nafisa's gonna win MVP this year.
We'll see.
I think so. Because like she was probably overall the best player in the finals. Probably in the whole playoffs, probably, right? Like off the top of your head, she probably played better than everybody. So, I mean, she's my early favorite for most valuable player next year.
I would still
MVP revenge season, yeah.
I'm gonna go Wilson, if not Stewart, and then I'll probably have Clark next year. But I go Wilson or Stewart, truthfully. Like I think all Asia has to do is win more and then average the same amount of points, if not a little less. I'm gonna go Wilson again. And quick tidbit before we switch it to the next topic. I want to say that has there ever been a repeat back-to-back MVP? Cynthia Cooper, I want to say, is the only person in league history that's won back-to-back MVPs.
I think you're right.
I think if I'm crazy,
I think you're right.
Check that. Let me know if you. But I want to say Wilson. She's the first person to win a unanimous MVP since Cooper. I think I'm gonna pick Wilson.
She'll probably be the first back-to-back MVP to not win a championship in either year either.
That might happen. That honestly might happen. That really might happen. That's a real thing. That might happen, truthfully. And that's why I think that she is gonna do it. I think something like that is the most likely scenario next season. Truthfully. All right, quickly. Okay, Cheryl Swoops. Somebody brought up Cheryl Swoops.
I think Swoops was 135, but
we'll see. Y'all can fact check that for us. Let's fact check.
Yeah, Swoops was I think 135, I think, or was it 2003 and 5, something like that.
Let me see. Let me write that down. Let's see. Cheryl Swoops. Let me see. Let's make sure that right quick. Did Cheryl Swoops win an MVP back-to-back years? I want to make sure.
Was it like 035?
Yeah, it's 2000, 2002, and then 2005. Yep. So no, it is just Cooper. All right, let's talk about Juju Walkins. Speaking of future MVPs in this league. So we're gonna talk about the UConn game. We're gonna bring that up in like a minute. But she recently had this to say. Juju Walkins says players should have the option to leave early for the WNBA. And God bless your heart, because her and I agree on this. Her quote was, I want to personally, so she was on a podcast. She said, I want to say personally, I am enjoying my experience regarding college. Coach Walkins said, I definitely think we should have the option. There has just been such a growth in college basketball where it's like, why would you want to leave? What are your thoughts about, I guess, players leaving early into the WNBA? And
I think that
you know where I stand. I'm gonna repeat it, but go. What are your thoughts about that?
I think they should have the right to, you know, if you're good enough to do something. I mean, I was thinking because like I knew that we were going to talk about this, and I was thinking about what other sport can they not do this? You know, what other league can they not? I mean, do they have to stay so many years till you're 22? Even the NFL softened up their rules like a little bit. You know,
That's a good point.
who was it like Amobi Okoye or something like 15 years ago? I think he went to the NFL. He was like 19 or 20 or something like that. Like he was super young.
He was young, yes. He got drafted from Boise State, yes. He did,
Yeah,
yeah.
he was super young.
But he
But
played in college for 4 years. Yeah.
and then
Or
basketball is like
3 years.
one season, but then they really just play in some other league, so they get paid for it. You know, now there's NIL, but it's like baseball, you just go to the minor leagues, or you get drafted at high school. Like this is the only league. I mean,
Jordan,
correct me if I'm wrong, but like I don't know.
Jordan. So good. I knew the comments. I don't want one and done. The comments are going crazy on this. They're like, nah, disagree. Nope, not even. She's not ready. Juju not even ready for the WNBA. Nikki said, I don't want one and dones. Mike said, I disagree. Bad idea for all. Juju would benefit with more college years. Riverdance says, name one.
Well, that's
a
I
good
mean,
question, Riverdance. Hold on, let me ask this. Name one player besides Brittany Griner that would prosper with no experience. I got a few, but I don't want to say them. I'll go.
well,
Where you say?
I think like because I quickly read through all the comments also, but like they're talking about two different things. Like one, should they have the option? That's the question that you asked me. And
Correct.
two, would it be good for like the sport or good for the player if they did? I agree with all the commenters actually. I don't think they should, but they should have the option to, you know. I think she should stay in college, you know, and kind of get another year under her belt, you know, and just kind of prepare for the pro league. But should she have the option to? I think she should have the option to if she wanted to.
To answer the question, though, I would say Candace Parker would be number two. To answer that question, to answer Riverdance's question, I feel like watching Candace Parker as well. Brittany Griner, obviously 6'8", she was ready for the league when she left. When she left high school, but I feel like Candace Parker would have been a number one pick, number two pick. Should have been a top 5 pick for sure, leaving high school. I'm not gonna say Maya Moore because she's playing guard, so it's a little bit different. But Maya had the talent to do it. The other person I'd say honestly is Brianna Stewart and or Asia Wilson. I feel like the two of them could have played, but again, it's just about the strength. So I disagree with you, Jordan. I think that if they have, well, wait, what were you saying that they should have the ability to?
So the question you asked me is, should they have the option to leave
Yes, I
early?
agree.
I
Yes.
agree with that. We agree with that. Should she actually leave
Talking
though,
about Juju?
for the sake of her development as a player and for the sake of like one and dones, developing relationships with college players? That's why we love Caitlin, because we watched her for so many years in college. We followed her to the pros, and like all the fans kind of just followed her over. But should she? I don't think she should, but she should have the option to.
So Coach Gottlieb agreed with you with this point. So this is Lindsay Gottlieb's comment on that same topic. If you look at somebody like Caitlin Clark, the platform of women's college basketball remains bigger. The eyes of the game remain bigger. So the deal she gets coming into the W and the financial power she has is greater because of the platform she had the last 2 years of college. If she had left after her sophomore year, she would have been ready basketball wise. So just we could stop right there. She would have been ready basketball wise. She just acknowledged that Caitlin was talented enough to play out of the WNBA as a sophomore. Now I'm going to continue, but
Is this her coach saying that?
That's the coach. Yes, that's Lindsay Gottlieb. That's not Lisa Bluter. That's Lindsay Gottlieb, the coach of USC. So she said that she was talented enough to play basketball wise. So that's as 20. That's at 19, 20 years old. And that's where I agree with her. I'm like, if you're talented enough to go to the league, you need to go to the league. And I understand when people are saying the salaries are different, NIL, this and that. Again, if you get an NIL deal, you can go like again. Angel Reese had an NIL deal with Reebok, but she right now is with Reebok in the league. So I don't see why that would change any different if she's doing the same thing. Get your NIL deal, go to the league. etc. And now, I don't know if you know this already, Adidas signed their first high school prospect with Kalena Smith, the guard, the number one guard in the nation right now in high school. I want to say she's a junior. Is signed right now with Adidas. Period. So now the fact that we see that this landscape is changing, you're going to have more athletes that are younger getting these types of sponsorship deals with programs and with franchises. I'm sorry, with sponsors, and they're going to go into the league with already some type of financial backing. So again, and just to add this, the CBA is getting ready to change. The CBA is getting ready to change where everybody's gonna be getting paid soon. So the fact that if finances weren't a problem, I don't even see why this is a talking point. Truthfully, like I don't, because would you? I'm gonna ask you this, Jordan.
So wait. So do you think Juju should not stay in college? Like, you don't think she has anything left to gain from Coach Gottlieb or to develop as a player at all? Like she has nothing left to. She has nothing left to get out of college.
That was my question right there. So would you, if you're a talented prospect, would you rather play against Ryan Howard and develop, or would you rather play against name a player? Insert collegiate player here. Insert. I don't even want to I'm not trying to call it any. Would you rather develop? Gilbert Arenas makes this point too. It's like you're not gonna have to worry about studying for school midterms and doing stuff that you have irrelevant stuff. If you're able to play in the league, Luka was playing pro at 13.
But it sounds like so it sounds like you don't believe that collegiate sports has anything to offer, anything at all. If you why even do it? Why not do things just for professional, just get to a professional league?
The goal, if the goal is to play in the pros, yeah, absolutely. That's the point. You want to get to the pros. So yeah, that part I agree with. If you're trying to get to the pros, what better place to develop than the pros?
So you don't think that Kobe Bryant could have gotten anything from Coach K?
I mean, you tell me. He played there 17. Okay, better question. Do you
did Michael Jordan get anything out of Dean Smith, or should he have just gone to the league in 1982 or whatever?
Do you think Kobe became a better player playing with the Lakers for his first 2 years and working out with Nick Van Exel and working out with Brian Scott versus playing with 2 kids or 10 kids that aren't going to make to the league anyway?
I mean, it just sounds like you are arguing against the validity and I guess helpfulness of a collegiate program. You know, it's like you're kind of saying
in comparison to the pros, yeah.
So are you saying that Michael Jordan should just went straight to the pros and not played under Dean Smith?
He was not good enough. He wasn't good enough. That's why he had to go to college for 3 years. If you're good enough, you need to go. He wasn't good enough to play at a college. He got cut from his JV team 2 years before he went. He wasn't good enough, and that's okay. He wasn't good enough.
I guess I'm just trying to understand, if a player, I mean, why can't bad players just skip collegiate ball then and just try for the NBA? Why can't I just go straight to the NBA? When I was 17.
I don't understand your point.
But you know what I'm saying? It's I don't. It's like you seem to not think that a collegiate program can offer anything to players. They shouldn't stay there. I totally understand if they're totally ready, but players do develop in college, and there is a place for the system in terms of player development. You know what I'm saying? There's a role that it does play. So many players reference their collegiate experience as helping them develop as not just pros but professionals as well. Dwayne Wade used to talk about Tom Crean all the time. People reference Krzyzewski all the time, and Roy Williams and Dean Smith. Everyone loves Dean Smith. So it's just I just think that there is a place for it. Obviously, if I
agree with that. I think that their college should have a standing, but I'm saying if you're good enough to leave, you need to leave. There's no point of saying you can develop in the league. That's the whole point. They're going to take, especially if they draft you young, they're going to take their time and really develop you into a player. To me, it's not even a question.
So we're in agreement that players should have the option.
For sure.
So I agree with that. But, well, first of all, I just want to address, come on, man. Gottlieb is never going to go against anything his star player has to say.
Well, she did. She did. She said that they should stay. When the WNBA gets their salaries worth not going to college, we'll see a change. I don't understand why it's crazy for one of the biggest prospects in women basketball to go pro. I agree with you 1,000,000%, Dev. Look at Nika, Peely, and a lot of rookies ride benches. I mean, okay, cool. They can develop in the league. Like I don't get what you're saying. Like you're telling me she's not gonna be good. Kobe playing with Coach K would have been good for him. We don't know that. Kobe would have been Kobe. I agree with you on that. It can backfire. I mean, I guess it can backfire, but most of the time, these players that leave early, they do better. They do better than they would younger.
But sometimes it does backfire.
Sometimes, I mean, most of the time, yes, of course. There's always yeah, of course. Something can happen, but most of the time it doesn't. They actually get better playing against tougher competition like that. I don't know that part. I don't even think it's a talking point for me. All right, before we get into this USC game, let's talk about this Paige Becker stalker. This man, what is it, Robert Parmalee, charged with stalking and harassing UConn basketball star Paige Beckers. This is an insane story. A man is accused of stalking and harassing UConn basketball star Paige Beckers, and who said on social media, oh my God, he intended to marry her, pleading guilty Wednesday to a stalking charge. Robert Cole Parmalee, 40 years old. He had an engagement ring and lingerie with him when he was first arrested in August, received a 1-year suspended sentence, 3 years probation on Wednesday. This is insane. I guess, okay, his last known address was in Oregon, in Ritzville, Washington, and was initially arrested August 27th with the ring and lingerie walking around the highway near Bradley International Airport near Hartford. He told a state trooper he had just flown in from the Pacific Northwest on his way to see Beckers at the UConn game, I'm assuming. And he was arrested, and thank God he was. We'd love to see it. Jordan, what are your thoughts about this? And this is insane, by the way.
This is crazy.
This is an insane story.
I mean, I think that I mean, she's not even a pro yet, man. Then that's just crazy that these things exist. I mean, I feel horrible that these people have to go through this type of stuff, but it's just another sort of instance in fan fanaticism, man. I mean, I don't know, like I always like catastrophize these things and think of the worst case scenario, but like Monica Seles in 1993, we were talking about this before getting on air. Like, I mean, crazed fan gets on the court, and stabbed her. I mean, these players, like, we got to protect them, and there's a lot of crazy sick people out there, man.
It is, and again, they need to beef up security around these collegiate athletes. I think you brought up this point too, the fact that Angel Reese was like, I forgot, there was some woman at the game who was like, I forgot what she did with Angel. She was trying to mess with Angel. These people that be having these accesses to Caitlyn, and then there have been like some weird instances of just fans being weird and just too much. This is a 40-year-old talking to a, was she 22 now? 22?
Something like that, bro.
I mean, God bless you if that's what you like, but I'm not just to stalk a woman like that. That's too much. That's way too. Obviously, that's too much.
He's got the engagement ring and the lingerie, bro. He's ready to go.
Dog, like, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Go Huskies.
Go Huskies. What are you doing?
I don't know.
I don't know. Unfortunately, that's what comes with growing the league. Unfortunately,
yeah.
Paige got crazy motion. That's funny. With Juju's game, I don't see how it develops anymore by playing against comp that can't guard her. I agree with that point right there. He just brought up a great point. It's like a guy who made Angel Reese a Barbie doll. Now, that was actually nice. The guy who made Angel Reese a Barbie doll, and he was trying to show her, hey, I mean, I guess it's a little odd to some, and that's okay, but he was just trying to show her, hey, you're going to have the ability to, have this. I don't know what he was trying to do. He's trying to give her something that she obviously doesn't have. But yeah,
why can't people just support these players like normal people, bro? Just cheer them on and watch the games or something.
You go, just sit down and watch the games, bro. Just watch the game, bro.
Bro, get on this live.
Speaking of getting on in life and watching the games, the UConn Huskies are playing against the USC Trojans tomorrow. I believe that game is at 4:00. Jordan, who do you have coming victorious? Who's going to be the star on the court? And if I could just say this by prefacing, the last time that we had a high-profile matchup with the Connecticut Huskies and the Notre Dame Irish,
yeah,
Anna Hidalgo was the person that shined on the court the brightest. I'll let you go. Go. What are your thoughts about this game? I'll have something to talk about. What are your thoughts about this game?
I mean,
Who's coming out on top and who's gonna dominate on the court? I guess the best answer. Or questions rather.
I think it's gonna be UConn and Page. I think it's gonna be UConn and Page. I think Juju's more efficient this year, averaging less points, but she's on a great team this year. But I mean, maybe I'm hoping more than, making this decision based on like what I actually saw against Notre Dame. But I think UConn's gonna pull it together and they're gonna figure out a way to win this game. Because Hidalgo was incredible, man. But Paige had a good game too. I think she had 25 that game.
She had 25 on 50%.
Yeah. So it's not like she played horribly, but
she didn't play horrible at all. She just got outplayed. And that's something I was getting ready to bring up. So, who do I think? The last time I was a little conflicted. I went Notre Dame. I got the right pick. My mind is telling me to pick UConn, Jordan. My mind is telling me to pick UConn.
Yeah, right.
But that's not who I'm gonna roll with my heart on this one. I think I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna roll with USC. I think USC is gonna get the job done. Do you think
it's gonna be close?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be closer than the Notre Dame game for sure. The Notre Dame game was a few shots away from being a blowout.
Right.
I think and let me just listen. Where this game is where is this game look? It's in stores. So if USC gets this is a good road win. I mean, UConn has every single reason to win this game. Obviously, they're playing at home. They have the number one prospect of the year this year in Page. But I feel like USC is due for one of these games, and like they disappointed early when they lost to.
But you don't think UConn's due for one of these games?
I mean, but UConn has.
They literally lost the last big game.
You said they lost what? They lost their last big game, and that's what I was ready to bring up. So Paige, it's not that she's been out. It's not that she played bad, but she's been outplayed in a lot of these big games. Whether it's Hannah Hidalgo, obviously USC lost to them last year in the Final Four in the Elite Eight. Whether it's and that's what I'm saying. I'm like Juju is due for one of these games against her. Whether it was last year against Caitlin, I'm like she's had these games where she hasn't just outperformed what she needed to, and I think I'm going USC. I'm gonna go USC. I think USC is gonna get the job done. Truthfully, UConn is on fraud watch for me. That's kind of how I feel. I mean, like I feel like their team is talented, but I don't know. I don't think that this UConn team is like a championship contender. I don't think USC is either. But I think that they're more of a contender than the other team, if that makes sense. And I know it's weird because they both Notre Dame both made them look trash. So, but I'm definitely gonna go USC. I'm going USC. I think Juju's gonna be the best performing player on the court.
I think it just occurred to me that like it's great that all these matchups occur this year because March Madness this year is gonna be freaking crazy.
March Madness is gonna be crazy.
Yeah. Because there's so many great teams this year to watch, so many compelling storylines. Yeah.
Yeah, I think USC is gonna get it done. All right, let me let's switch to our next topic. So our next topic. So quickly, we're gonna get into this right quick. Cameron Brink, she graduated from USC. I just wanted to say congratulations. Here she was pictured by Stuart Weissman. They kind of sponsored this whole ordeal. I mean, and if I could bring this up, she is also, Jordan, she's also one of the players for Unrivaled. She is the last wild card. All right, yeah, and then the second wild card I'm gonna bring up too. But she's the last. What are your thoughts about Cam being the last wild card? And if you didn't see this, Katie Lou Samuelson. Katie Lou Samuelson is the other wild card pick, Jordan.
Who's that?
Wild card picks in the movie. Katie Lou and Cameron Brink. Why are you doing that? I don't know why he's laughing, y'all. That's
Where's Caitlin? Who?
Yeah, she's not playing this year in Unrivaled.
Look, Cameron Brink's a great get, man. I mean, she's one of the most famous players in the league. I have to wait till 2026 to see her though, but I mean that's awesome, man. It's a great get for them.
It is.
She's
Unrivaled.
Yeah, she's a true wild card, man, because you don't know what you're gonna get when she comes back.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised that she's playing. Truthfully, Like I would not have expected her to play just for the simple fact that she's coming back from ACL injury, and I'd rather her not play. But
Yeah.
she feels like she's ready to I guess test out her knee and a low. It's not going to be as fast paced as Unrivaled. I'm sorry, as the WNBA. So be it. So shout out to her. But all right, cool. If the last closing thoughts I got, I mean, we're not closing thoughts. So shout out to Katie Lou and Cam Brink. And if I'm gonna open up the lines if y'all want to bring it up, if you want to request it, y'all can start requesting in. Reebok became the exclusive partner, rather, with the WNBA, which I just thought was dope. Call it the Angel Reese effect. Jordan, what are your thoughts about that? Lexi Hall is I'm sorry, Lexi Brown is also there as well.
Is Lexi Hall there? No.
No, not yet. I don't think so.
That's great for the WNBA, man. Shout out UChicago Medicine, great school. My brother went there actually. University of Chicago.
Good for him.
Yeah. Obama went there too. Yeah. Congrats to Angel Reese, man, and Lexi Hall. I mean Lexi Brown. It's great. It's great for the league, man. I mean, it's so encouraging to see this league grow and make connections. I just have nothing but good things to say about it, man.
Amen. All right, amen. And with that being said, we're gonna, like I said, congrats to Shaq. Unrivaled has the fast pace, otherwise it'll be boring. We'll see. Shout out to y'all, everybody listening. We appreciate y'all. Hopefully we're gonna be back tomorrow around the same time. Jordan, if you got any closing thoughts, we out of here.
Closing thoughts. I mean, it's nice to talk WNBA, because this league is even in the off season, it's still interesting. People have been down on the NBA for a couple weeks now, but the WNBA I think is still going strong. I think the ratings are going to be even higher next year.
Who?
The ratings for the women's league.
Sure. Everybody's gonna want to see how much. Yeah, absolutely. How much everybody's getting better.
Yeah. Do you have any closing thoughts?
My closing thoughts are shout out to the Toronto Tempo. And with this WNBA expansion, this is insane. They have Jacksonville as a team. Somebody put in a bid for Jacksonville to get a WNBA team before Miami and before Orlando, meaning nobody from Miami or Orlando put in a bid to get a team what are we doing? What are y'all doing? Jacksonville? Like what? And ain't nothing wrong with Jacksonville. I like Duval County, but nobody in Miami or Orlando thought, let's get a WNBA team down here.
Yeah, right.
So right now they're competing against Houston, St. Louis, Cleveland is another city. I want to say not Portland, Denver. There's like a few other teams in the league that are. Charlotte is another one. So and they're all competing for another bid. So the Kathy Engelbert says they're gonna have 17 teams by 2028. They're like one more team away. So this last bid is gonna get accepted by someone. I'm like, hopefully. I mean, I don't want to say Houston because I want to see the Comets come back, but they already have a team in Texas. But I wouldn't mind it. But I'm like, whoever gets the bid is gonna be good. So shout out to everybody that's putting in bids. But Jacksonville, y'all, over Orlando, Miami, come on, bro. Nobody in the city thought about Serena. Y'all, you didn't want a team in the city? Like, come on, man. So that's my closing thoughts. Somebody put a bid together and call me.
Maybe we'll do it.
Yeah,
maybe we'll do it.
Hey, Juan Soto, let me hold some.
We can afford like 2 players in the expansion draft.
A player. I'll afford a player. I'm cheap.
We'll just play 1v5.
That's tough, man. And shout out to y'all for listening on TikTok. They got UConn USC game at the football, same time as the football game. I hear you. All right, man. We out of here. Y'all requested on TikTok. Appreciate it.
Take care. Peace.